And I think a big problem for a lot of people is connecting to social media these days. And you talk about this in the book, how we're all portraying, that everything is great and sharing our best moments and sharing the beautiful things we're purchasing and doing with family and creating a picture perfect vision of ourselves and our family. And then when we go on there and see that, it can be tempting to, feel like, oh, I deserve to be able to treat myself too and spend money or just see different things that you could appreciate and have in your life. So how do people go about not getting caught up in that trap when it comes to social media?
Yeah, social media is tough because the hard thing too is you see one snapshot of someone's life and you just assume you know the whole picture. And it's not the case. So much stuff is happening behind that picture that you will never know. And so I think you have to realize what a smoke screen it is a little bit of life to when you see something to automatically not judge it, but yet automatically not be like, oh, I have to have that to be happy. I have to be just like them. See it for what it is. And then for me, I mean, I spend time off of it. Like I'm off. I mean, I have work social media accounts, but I rarely get on. I never get on Facebook. I really never do. I never really get on Twitter. I mean, Instagram every now and then I'll flip on, but like I've even learned to my own self that I'm like, I spend so much time there. So I would say to people, if you find yourself in that rut where you're finding that these things are driving your purchases and why you want to do things you want to do is because of social media and because of other people, I would say see it for what it is, the reality that that is not their entire life. And then if you have to put a boundary, a time limit on it, do it. I mean, it's crazy. All the research that's come out on social media, it's basically all negative. Like we can use social media for good. Sure. Yes, we can. But majority of it is, the people within Google and Facebook and Instagram are not letting their kids have social media. I'm like, okay, what is this saying? Like, I mean, it's a big deal. And I know there's documentaries out. There was one on Netflix recently. I mean, it's a big part of our world that we have to be really careful of.
The Social Dilemma. Have you
That's
seen
it.
it yet?
That's it. I did.
Yeah, we did too.
So crazy, right? Oh, that's my thing. I'm like, all this stuff. I mean, there's a part of me that just wants a flip phone. I've really thought about it. I'm like, I kind of just want to go back to a flip phone. Like, if it's all that bad and it's this extreme in our lives, why would I not take this extreme stance on the other side? But I don't know if I will, but I've thought about it.
I think a lot of us have had that thought.
Yes.
And you kind of alluded to something when you're just chatting there about buying things for the wrong reasons, being that other people are going to see it on social media. And now this is a whole thing too, where you share in the book, there was a couple of stories there where this couple went on a honeymoon. And basically, I think it was the woman, she was trying to capture the perfect sunset and she would, order certain things on the menu to take a perfect picture for Instagram. And it's just taking away so much from being who we truly are and our experience in the moment. I mean, how many photos, maybe somebody took 10, 20, 30 photos of that sunset to get the perfect photo instead of just enjoying it with her new husband. And again, we could go on and on about social media and the negative aspect. There's definitely positive as well, but I just found there was a couple stories you share in the book that were just so profound and enlightening.
Yeah, yeah, and they're kind of extreme examples, but they're true. I mean, that was an article in the New York Times of this couple, and I'm like, oh man, we spend our lives looking through the screen to look at reality on the other side, and it's amazing what we miss. My husband, Winston, I think I write about in the book, but he hates social media. I mean, he has no accounts. He like will not enter into the realm. He's like, nope, it's not worth it. I don't want to get in it. And so we have this agreement of what I post on social media personally with our family, whether it's with kids or with him. And it's very rare. As if you look at any of my social media, they are rarely on it because we made this agreement that we're not going to I'm not going to plaster my kids everywhere. If people do that, totally fine. It's just something we've decided as a family. So I've realized when I'm with the family, I'll take pictures, but I would be taking so many more if I knew other people were going to see it. And so I've caught myself being like, man, I am like living in the moment more and more and more because I'm just not worried about what other people are seeing. But I also have used that filter for my purchases because I'm a spender and I know myself, I know my personality. And so I make a filter too. Before I buy something, I say, okay, if no one sees this purchase, do I still want it? And if the answer is yes, then I'm like, okay, yeah, it's a nice pair of shoes. I just really want a nice pair of shoes. And I'm happy with that. But if I'm like, no, I really want someone to see these shoes, then I'm like, oh, and I don't buy it. I don't let myself buy it right then and there. I have to wait and I give myself some time. So that whole other people centered idea that you're motivated by other people, it's a big part of our lives.
Yeah, slippery slope for sure. And I did take notice looking through your Instagram account that there wasn't any family shots in there, pictures of your husband, and in reading your book, you do share quite a bit about the family, so I was curious about that.
Yeah. Yeah. You'll see some birthday pictures of the kids every now and then. But no, Winston, and he's so good looking. I'm like, babe, I want to show you off. You're so good looking. Yeah, no, but he's like, he has no desire to be seen by everyone in the world that he doesn't know.
Probably so much better for you guys.
I mean, honestly, we laugh about it, but I think it is true. If I married a guy that was like all about this life and was like, oh yeah, self promotion, I would be a miserable. I know I would turn into like the biggest brat in the world. So Winston he's a great match for me. Brings me down to earth.
Coming back to the balance thing, if you're, on social media during your quote unquote free time, as an entrepreneur, like what real free time do you have? You're always on. So that's, gonna lead to burnout, pushing too hard. And so I think it's good to have boundaries there for sure.
Yeah, that's exactly right.